Hey, what's up, Facebook family and friends and YouTube? Those of you that don't know me, you'll get to know me if you start to watch and follow me. I'm Terry Lee King, aka the legendary Amazing Grace, and I was inspired to do a reaction video. I mean, with all that's going on, I feel I have to do something, And I would just like to give out a shout out to the people that have inspired me, and they probably don't even know that they have, but I always like to give credit where credit is due. Of course, my family and friends most definitely inspire me. But you have Mr. Jesse Dollamore, Gossip Girl, that's Jessica Cohort now. Cheryl's World, her and her platform is great. And the Queens, Claudia Jordan, Vivica Fox, Selena Johnson, and Lisa Ray. Okay, so I'm going to react to this video. I do not own the rights to this video, but I do own the rights to my opinion, to my reaction, okay? I'm drinking Malta. This Malta. Okay, I'm half Puerto Rican, half Trinidadian. My mother was from Puerto Rico, father from Trinidad, so I'm all screwed up, right? Anyhow, I'm going to react to this craziness. Let's see what she's talking about.
Hello, Facebook family.
Hi.
I have decided to do this video. It has been weighing very heavily on my heart and on my mind as well. And it was something that I wanted to say early on, but there were so many emotions and so much pressure for me to go with a popular opinion about who George Floyd was. And sometimes it can be difficult when there are just so many external pressures to say what you believe. And this was an instance where I felt like my silence.
This is not looking good. This is not looking good.
Would have been better in the beginning, but the more that I think about it, I realize that we are being sold a lot of lies, and at the detriment to the Black community, at the detriment to the white community, and at the detriment to America as a whole. So I want to come out and say that I do not support George Floyd and the media depiction of him as a martyr for Black America.
All right. First of all, nobody but you, I'm sorry for yelling, nobody, I just get emotional. Nobody but you is calling him a martyr. He is not a martyr. He is a symbol of white supremacy going buck wild. Let me take these glasses off. Oh, Lord, this girl.
I'm going to explain why, and I hope that some of you guys will understand where I'm coming from. I have spent a considerable...
I'm going to tell you now, before she even say, I hope you guys understand where we're coming from, and before she give her opinion, I hope you guys don't understand, because this is not looking good. This is...
amount of time reading a lot of Black authors that I think are some of the most brilliant Black Americans breathing. Walter Williams, Shelby Steele, Thomas Sowell, and I recently came across something that was an idea that was planted into my head by Shelby Steele, and it's been something that I cannot forget. It is something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. And it is something that I hope for the Black Americans that are watching will stick with you for the rest of your life.
This is already sticking. This is already sticking with me. This is already sticking with me.
Our community is unique from other communities. Our culture is unique from other communities.
How long is this? How long? 18? She gotta be talking like 18 minutes and 13 seconds this video. If I can't get through it, I'm cutting it off, and you guys are going to have to go and find it to hear the rest of it, because she already getting on my nerve.
The only community that caters to the bottom denominator of our society. Now let me explain what that means. It means to say that not every Black American is a criminal, not every Black American is committing crimes, but we are unique in that we are the only people that fight and scream and demand support and justice for the people in our community that are up to no good.
Hello! What about the white community? Right now, they're letting people that went to jail during the Trump administration out of jail with pardons and excuses and corrupt judges. So don't you tell me that we do that. Check this girl out.
Would be hard pressed to find, a Jewish person who has spent 5 stints in prison, who commits a crime.
Jewish people got their reparations. Jewish people got their 3 acres and a mule. You know what we got? A kick up our ass. They even complain when we kneel because we don't agree with the American flag, Star-Spangled Banner, freedom for everyone, while they're killing us out in the street like dogs. As a matter of fact, they treat their dogs better than they treat us. Okay?
And dies while committing a crime, and that the Jewish people champion and demand justice for. You will be hard-pressed to find this in white America. You'll be hard-pressed to find this even in Latino.
See, this is what's wrong. They don't want us to get upset. They want us to be able to go in and talk nicely. And, we're very disappointed that you're killing us. We're very disappointed that you brought us all over here on ships and you've been separating our families since the beginning of ever. And you've been stealing our culture. You've been stealing our way of dressing. Anything we come up with, you steal it. And you make it yours, and now it's like it's the first thing. And now you even steal our people. You brainwashed this poor black girl, right? So now what happened is she's black on the outside, but she's spewing white supremacy. What the?
America, if there is a person that spent multiple times in prison, you are not going to see bunch of Latinos coming out demanding justice for this person, even.
First of all, when African Americans fight for the rights of everyone, Latinos prosper, Asians prosper, white people prosper. We're just the ones fighting, but everybody gets something out of it. So why they need to do anything? They need to be with us. And so do you cuckoo clock.
And I want to be very clear, what I'm saying is not any defense for Derek Chauvin. I hope Derek Chauvin gets the justice that he deserves to be.
What she's saying is no defense. Yes, it is. Because if it wasn't a defense, you wouldn't be saying it. Let's continue.
Be implemented upon him, and that the family of George Floyd deserves justice for the way that he died. But I also am not going to accept the narrative.
There is no but. There is no. Let me tell you something. When somebody tell you, "Oh, I'm sorry, but," it negates everything. Is that the right word? If that's not the right word, you know what I mean. It takes away from everything else they said before they said the but. I'm sorry I ran you over with the car, but I'm sorry I shot you dead out in the street, but there is no but. Don't freaking kill us. Period. There's no freaking but. What's wrong with them?
That this is the best the black community has to offer. For whatever reason, it has become fashionable.
I'm not going to be, I'm telling y'all now, I'm not going to be able to get through this.
For us to turn criminals into heroes overnight. And it is something that
turn criminals, for black people to turn criminals into overnight. Who said they're going to grab women by the private parts? Who does that? Who? Tell me. Isn't that criminal behavior? And where is that person now? At the top of the heap. Come on, girl, you better wake up. I know I'm older than you. I'm going to be 59 in July. Thank God, knock on wood, I lived this long. But girl,
that I find to be despicable, and it's something that I refuse to stand by any longer, and I'm not going to play a part in it, no matter how much pressure comes from Black liberals and Black conservatives, as some token of people wanting you to believe that this is the only way you can be Black, is you have to say this was wrong, and that this, this
It is wrong. It is wrong. Am I yelling? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me take a deep breath and calm down. Okay, here we go.
Person was amazing. I won't do that. George Floyd was not an amazing person. And as soon as this video hit the internet, I did just basics.
Well, guess what? Honey, I hate to break it to you, but you're not an amazing person either. What you're doing is destroying the plight of your own people that sacrifice for you to be on this platform and open your mouth and spew racial excuses. I didn't get that upset on that one, did I?
Churches, everyone jumped on it and was looking at the police officer, and everyone agrees that the police officer was wrong, and the police officer has been arrested. So that is not the reason I'm not discussing that, is because that is not something that has been misconstrued in the media. He has been turned into the devil that he is, and there is no reason for us to harp on that any longer, because white Americans are not uplifting their...
I'm harping on it until I'm in the ground. What do you mean? But there's no reason to harp on it any longer. Floyd ain't up walking around like this girl.
Chauvin as a victim
She get me so upset I'm gonna break my remote.
or pretending that he's an amazing human being. But George Floyd is being uplifted as an amazing human being. For those of you who have and did not pursue or wait for more clips to come out, first and foremost, George Floyd at the time of his arrest was high on fentanyl, and he was high on methamphetamine. This came back.
I don't care if he was high on crack. I don't care if he was high on weed. I don't care if he drank 50,000 bottles of champagne. I don't care what he was high on. Okay? Being high is not against the law. Stepping on somebody's neck and killing them and having a modern day execution is against the law, Miss Know-It-All Candace Owens. Ew.
In both of his autopsy reports, if you pursue the 911 transcript, you can see the person describing somebody who is out of their mind high, and which is what made the...
Like you right now? Who's out of like you right now? Now, I know I'm upset and I'm reacting to this. Okay? But I have a reason to. I make sense. Okay? There's something called common sense, knowing right from wrong, knowing when to open your mouth, and knowing when to keep your mouth closed and listen. This young lady needs to keep her mouth closed for about a year and listen and learn from people that are older than her, from people that have had experience in this world, because she has no idea what she's talking about. It's almost like I can't even put it into words.
Person fearful because he tried to use a bill that I guess was a fake bill to purchase something, and then he was outside acting weird, and they, in their police call, said that this person was obviously distorted on drugs. When he is put into handcuffs and is put against...
Where is she getting her information from? I'm starting to believe, this is what I'm starting to believe. I'm starting to believe that they search out sick people that don't really want to see the whole African American community and others prosper, and they pay them to just say nonsense. This is nonsense.
Against the wall, a baggie of what looks to be like cocaine or it's white. It's a white baggie that he drops onto the floor that you can see in an image. If you look up the clip, the media is refusing to circulate it. You can find it on Twitter if you use DuckDuckGo and look up George Floyd baggie. You can watch the clip yourself with your own eyes. He had drugs on him at the time of his arrest. Now, barring all of that, nobody thinks that he should have died during this arrest, but
So
what I
what?
find despicable to
If
me.
nobody think that, why are you mentioning it? If nobody think that, why are you mentioning it?
Is that everyone is pretending that this man lived a heroic lifestyle when he didn't. And I want to talk about what his lifestyle was leading up to this moment, and why I refuse to accept the narrative that this person is a martyr, or should be lifted up in the Black community, and that we should be buying t-shirts with his name on it, okay? So here we have, first and foremost, let's start from the bottom of his record. And by the way, I am not saying that if you have a record, you don't deserve a second chance. I think people get arrested, and some people can serve time in prison, and I believe in second chances, but I do draw the line when it comes to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth chances. 1998, he spent 10 months in prison for theft with a firearm. That was the first prison stint that I could find on him. In 2002, he spent 8 months in prison for a cocaine offense. In 2004, just 2 years later, he spent another 10 months in prison for a cocaine offense. In 2005, he spent another 10 months.
Y'all listen. Let me go get another mouth. I need to calm down.
In 2007, and this was the biggest instant that I had that made me realize this was a horrible human being that I am not going to pretend was a good person. In 2005, a woman who was pregnant received a knock at the door, and she went to the door, and the person pretended to be someone that worked for the water department. So she opened her door and quickly realized that the person at her door did not work for the water department, and attempted to slam it. At the moment that she was attempting to slam it, a Ford pulled up, and another 5 men jumped out of the car, and one of which was Floyd, came up to the door, and they forced their way inside to her home, inside of her home. Mind you, this woman is pregnant.
I believe that.
At that point, George Floyd took out a gun and pressed it to her stomach. As she was screaming, begging for her life, and he put her inside of her living room and instructed one of his criminal friends that was with him to watch her and to make sure she didn't leave the living room. So he was playing guard while they ransacked her home looking for drugs and money. They did not find drugs. They ended up taking, I believe, her wallet and her cell phone. Fortunately for her, her neighbor observed what was going on and caught the license plate of the people as they pulled off and called 911. And when 911 was able to, they were able to track down the car, which George Floyd was the driver, and they arrested him. And 2 years later, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for that instance. Now, you can say the media is portraying it like he was just getting his life together after, being released in 2014.
You need to get your daggone life together. That's what you need to do. Let me tell you something. Even, let's just say, he and his friends bust into this woman's apartment, ransacked her apartment, and stole from her, right? The woman is alive. The woman is alive. What doesn't this Egg McMuffin head don't understand about they shouldn't be killing her? I don't.
Following that incident, he was just getting his life together and moved and was going to start afresh. I'd like to believe all of those things, and there's a gap, and he never got in trouble for 5 years until this incident when the police were called on him again. But you are defying common sense to believe that this person suddenly became an exemplary character, but happened to be high on fentanyl and methamphetamine, and trying to use a bill, a fake bill, to purchase something.
This is the classic case of destroying the reputation of the victim. And she has it down to an art form. Okay? She has it down to a skill to give white people excuses when it comes to African American men like myself. Okay?
And so, in my opinion, George Floyd was a criminal. He was a criminal. And just because he was a criminal doesn't mean he deserved to die as a needed police officer.
She keeps saying that. What? She's gonna be a politician. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because she talks out both sides of her mouth just like POTUS. Just like the guy at the top. right? He's in pictures with Epstein, videos with Epstein. But what's the first thing out of his mouth? I don't know. I don't know him. I take pictures with everybody. Lord.
Does mean that I am not going to play a part of the broken black culture that always wants to martyr criminals, who wants to pretend they were these upstanding human beings that just wanted to help society, that just wanted to reach out and uplift society. And he has a rap sheet that is long, that is dangerous. He was an example of a violent criminal his entire life, okay? Up until the very last moment. Now,
did he kill somebody? I have heard you said he killed somebody. Did he kill somebody? Violent? Did he kill somebody? Ay, Dios mío. Just the other day, law enforcement knocked this old man down, bust open his head. Come on now.
Again, I want to be clear, this is not a defense for Derek Chauvin. No one that I have spoken to, no one in the news is defending Derek Chauvin. He is getting what he has coming to him. Okay, great.
Whether they're defending him or not, they're deflecting. It's not called defending. See, I'm older than you. I served in the military. I know what life is about. It's not about defending. It's about deflecting. So now she's talking about his so-called arrest record. And whenever she speaks, she never gives clarification so you could go and you could do the research to find out if these things are true. She just spews it. That's to make the white supremacists and the KKK and so on and so forth feel comfortable. You know what? Let's hope I can get through this.
But why are we pretending that this criminal should be upheld as a citizen, as a martyr in Black America? A martyr for a fake narrative, by the way. Police brutality, racially motivated police brutality is a myth, okay? So let's get into that. Not only are we using this death, right, and allowing it to cause these riots and protests, pretending this was some upstanding citizen in the Black community who was tackled down and killed for no reason, right? Not only are we allowing it to inspire riots in which Black people are dying, in which actual upstanding Black citizens are dying. Case in point, I'm sure you guys have all now seen David, the sheriff that just was shot and killed because he was trying to protect
What is she talking about? What planet do this woman live on? Is it Earth? What do this have to do with the price of tea in China? What good does she think she's doing? Did she...
A pawn shop. Please look him up if you haven't seen it. I'm blanking on his last name. His first name is David. He was shot and killed for trying to protect a pawn shop from looters. An upstanding citizen, an actual head of a police. He was the head of a police his entire life. 70.
First of all, these are not protesters that are going out there and stirring trouble. These are called agitators, like you. You're one.
7 years old, did everything right. Right? So we now have to kill upstanding Black citizens because a non-upstanding Black citizen, a career Black criminal, died. Now,
what? We don't have to kill non-upstanding. What? You guys figure that one out. I'm not going to even try.
Did he deserve to die in that manner? No. I can't say it enough. No, he didn't deserve to die in that manner. But I will be damned if the rest of us upstanding Black citizens have to suffer because of this incident that rarely ever happens in America. So here are some numbers for you people that are still believing that police brutality is a real, racially motivated police brutality is a real thing. First and foremost, okay, you have a 25% higher chance as a violent white criminal of dying at the hands of a police officer than you.
Who shoots up concerts? Who shoots up churches? Who shoots up schools? Huh? And who gets to walk away? Not no Black people.
do as a black criminal. Last year, a total of 9 unarmed black men were killed by police officers, and 19 white men were killed by police officers. For those,
is she pulling statistics out of the air? I was going to say something else, but I'm trying to be nice. Is she pulling statistics just at random? Because anybody can see that black, unarmed, African-American men are killed more at the hands of law enforcement. That's period. That goes without saying. You know it. I know it. So what is she doing?
You that aren't good at mathematics, right? You might be thinking, oh, but Candace, white people represent 60% of the population and black people represent just 13% of the population. It does.
And doesn't it seem like she practiced this? It seemed kind of rehearsed to stir up the passion she's stirring up within me and probably other people that watch this. It seems like it's well rehearsed.
It doesn't matter what percentage of the population you represent.
Especially when she went, oh, Candace, you might say that some of this.
And it matters what percentage of the violent criminal community you represent. And unfortunately, black community commits a disproportionate amount of crimes compared to the white community. Let me tell you, 6% of the population, right? Black men, 6% of the population account for 44% of all murders in this country, according to 2018 statistics. That is what you call a gap. And yet white people who represent 60% of the population, we represent 13, black men are 6%, only represent 50% of all the murders, right? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. A 6-point variation.
Is she talking about making sense? Really?
Community where we are extreme minorities. We commit 50% of all violent offenses, evenly split, and we're only 13% of the population.
If that's true, then why my black behind sitting in my house looking at you? I should be out there committing crime. If that is true, Miss Owens, why am I sitting in my house? I should be out there robbing and killing and stealing and looting and pillaging it. You know why? Because you're lying. You're not even exaggerating anymore. You're lying. And you're lying on your own people. You shouldn't be lying on anybody, but you're lying on your own people to make it worse.
Okay? So we have a lot more.
No, it's not okay.
Encounters with police officers. And don't say the police officers are coming around because we're black. I'm talking about violent criminals. I'm talking about murder. 44% of murders, okay? You want to talk about real statistics? The police officers have way more to be fearful of in the black community than the other way around, okay? We commit.
The police officers. Okay.
On average, a police officer is 18 and a half times more likely to be killed by a black person than the other way around. Okay? So this entire narrative is complete smoke and mirrors. It's all made up. It's just election fodder. It's white versus black because it's an election year, not because black Americans are suffering at the hands of police officers more than white Americans. Do some police officers do the wrong thing? Yes.
She always say that. You notice that's called exactly what she just said as far as speaking and having this kind of a platform. When she says smoke and mirrors. So when she says are all police officers, there are some bad police officers, yes. Or whatever it is, she tries to, how do you say, I can't think of the word, illuminate or she tries to express, okay? She does that a lot in this rehearsed speech.
I don't think there's anybody in the world who has not encountered a police officer and thought this person is an absolute jerk who is power tripping, whether you are black or white.
So then why do this video? So then she does not feel that way, because if she felt that way, why do the video?
No, they exist. And we know they're always going to exist, by the way, because they're human beings. And sometimes human beings suck. In fact...
Like you! Sometimes human beings suck! Like you!
If you want to attack a community for accidental slayings or brutality, did you know that doctors accidentally kill 250,000 people every year because of mistakes? Did you know?
What does that have to do with anything? I have no idea. None.
There's been doctors that have been arrested for being serial killers that just were killing people because they wanted to. Do we protest and boycott doctors? Do we assume all doctors are horrible human beings because some doctors are? Or do we realize that society is not perfectible? People suck in every profession. It is no excuse to paint society with a broad brush. It is certainly no excuse to accept a Democrat narrative, okay, that black people are being disproportionately hunted down by police officers because of
How long is this? Oh, Lord, hurry up.
the color of their skin. You want to know the best way to avoid not being brutalized by a police officer is to limit the amount of encounters you need to have, especially when it comes to violent crimes. Okay, I am not going to stand for this continual bottom-feeding narrative of us martyring people that have had 5, 6, 7 stints in prison and then pretending they were upstanding heroes to our community. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Excuse my language. It's absolute bullshit, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of having to play pretend. I'm tired of sitting here and being Uncle or Uncle Tom because I won't play this bottom-feeding game with you. If you want to hang up posters of criminals on your wall and talk about them as your martyrs, do it. Kobe Bryant was my idol. Okay, I'll keep a photo of Kobe Bryant. You can keep one of George
Remember what Gail said about Kobe, right?
Floyd, pretend he was an upstanding human being that just once or twice put a gun across a pregnant woman's belly. Could you imagine that woman right now? That black woman, by the way, right? Watching everybody pretend this person was an upstanding human being who just at the age of 42 and 5 prison stints was going to get his life together. I mean, it's embarrassing. We are embarrassing in that regard, right? This is why we have a cycle and a toxic culture, because nobody wants to tell the truth in Black America. It's so easy to be a victim. It's so easy to ask white people to bow down and apologize and do all these things for us.
After everything that we have been through, yes, apologize. Yes, give us reparations. Yes, give us an even playing field. Yes, Candace, yes. But part of yes, you don't understand. The ye or the S? Yes.
It's crap. It's crap. It's a lie. It's a farce. Our biggest problem is us, okay? It's why we don't talk about
Our biggest problem right now is you.
When black on black crime happens. It's why we don't talk about it when 40 black people are killed in one weekend during Memorial Weekend
What's happening?
in Chicago. We don't want to talk about any of that stuff. We don't want to talk about Baltimore. We don't want to talk about New Jersey. We don't want to talk about any of these places where black people are being slaughtered by other blacks, because that would mean that we had to be personally accountable, right?
First of all, blacks killing blacks have nothing to do with just what just happened. Stop deflecting to cover up your ignorance.
That would mean personal responsibility. We don't do personal responsibility in our community. We don't do it. We blame white people, right?
First of all, if a black person kills a black person, that black person is going where? To jail.